Welcome back to Mind Your Biz. My name is Seth, and in today's Creator Highlight episode, I have the special pleasure of being able to meet with NFT Demon. You may know him as Jeremy Ryan, but you may know him as NFT Demon. You may know a little bit about his background. Maybe you've heard. He's responsible for some pretty amazing exploits, some really fun stuff. We've had some opportunities to talk about some cool things that he's done in the blockchain industry behind the scenes. You might not be aware of them. We'll cover some of that, but we'll also talk a little about what's coming up for NFT Demon. Jeremy, welcome to Mind Your Biz.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. We talked about like we're in a private influencer, like specifically crypto and blockchain media publisher group, I guess is more accurate. Some of us are not, like, we don't bill ourselves as influencers, more educators, and we've had some really great conversations lately about some very powerful people in crypto and some times when you've been able to speak truth to that power. So I can't wait to get into that. And when you said, like, sure, I'll come on your show, I was very pleased. I'm just going to say that outright. Like, I'm excited that we had the opportunity to finally make this happen. But
most definitely, me too.
Yeah. Do me a favor, and for the benefit of the Mind Your Biz audience who may not know you yet, give them sort of a 30,000 foot overview, or like a, in a nutshell, understanding of who is NFT Demon, or what is the NFT Demon brand? And then how did that come out of your public persona, Jeremy Ryan?
Yeah, NFT Demon is my artist name. I come fully doxed. My legal name is Jeremy Ryan, which is something that you don't get with a whole lot of NFT artists and a whole lot of NFT projects, is the doxing, at least not on the large collection level. I'm the largest artist on the Binance Smart Chain, or BNB chain, I guess it's now called. But I'm drifting away from BNB chain simply because they have no support for artists. And so I'm drifting away into Ethereum, which also has no support, but it does have a big following. So it has the volume. And as far as my personal life goes, I was a political activist, and I used to run and flip businesses. So I would take distressed businesses and I would make them whole, basically, and then resell them for a lot more money than what I bought them for.
Awesome. Well, mad respect for that. That takes a very unique set of skills, not just one, but you do have to wear a lot of hats for that. So, I mean, I wish I could say that was the same experience that I had, but when I meet people who do have that skill, who put in that level of work in those different areas, man, I think that's the American dream in a lot of ways, is being able to find something that you can turn into a cash flowing business, or find some new product market fit, and then just see cash flowing. Very few other places in the world give that opportunity. So again, mad respect. I'm curious. As far as your life before crypto, you mentioned being able to take these distressed businesses and then kind of turn shit to sugar, so to speak, or turn lemons into lemonade. What did that look like before crypto? And because I hate the question, like, how did you discover crypto? It's interesting, but we've heard it so many times, and we'll let you explain that on some other podcast. Today, who was Jeremy Ryan before cryptocurrency, before NFTs? Like, what did you do on your day to day? And I mean, including those distressed businesses, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, well, I had a couple different avenues. One of them was selling marijuana in Wisconsin, where it was not quite legal. I did get busted once for it, long past the statute of limitations on that one, so no problem disclosing that. But outside of selling cannabis, which I thought was a public service, I didn't look down on it. I found it to be a public service, particularly in an illegal state. And I still feel that way. I feel no guilt whatsoever about my selling of cannabis. But outside of that, what I would do is I would basically just look for businesses that were really, really failing. Typically, it would be because their owners had drug problems or some other major issues. The most common problem I would run into would be an owner with a heroin addiction. Because heroin was pretty popular in Madison, Wisconsin, which is where I was at. And so, and I live in California now, but it was pretty popular over there. And so an owner would just destroy a business through their addiction. And so then I would buy that business out, and then I would turn it around by basically, well, my philosophy, and it's the same way I took off with NFTs, was to put 90% back into the business. And so what I would do is I would do really heavy marketing. So I would take 90% of what came in and then throw it into marketing the business so that we would dominate the industry pretty quickly. And then I'd sell the business to somebody else who wanted to take it over. One example of this was a window tinting shop that I bought for $10,000, and we became a market leader basically overnight. We had Hulu ads, we had billboards. Every time you went to the movie theater, you'd see our ad. We had ads everywhere just because the money was flowing in. So I was able to just throw it everywhere that came by. And I ended up selling that for a whole lot more in the end. And then I still kept the 10%.
Can you disclose what your exit price was, or no?
My exit price was $1 million on that one. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude!
And
yeah,
that was a deal. That was a deal for them because it was pulling in about $300,000 a year in profit. So wow. To be able to buy a business and make back your investment and then some profit in 4 years is pretty good in the sense of business acquisitions.
And the tech acquisition sort of rule of thumb also is like, I think 10 years, right? 10 years of ARR. So you saying they got it. So my audience may not know that, right? But you saying that they got a deal, it's like they got 70% off on the acquisition.
Correct. Yeah. But I still made out really well. And I just wanted to get it off my chest. So, that's what I did. As far as crypto goes, when that aha moment where I really got deep into crypto was actually SafeMoon. SafeMoon, the shitcoin SafeMoon, is I put $50 into SafeMoon and turned it into 5,000 because I got in early enough. And a whole lot of people made a whole lot of money off of SafeMoon, just like Sheeb and all these the other shitcoins. Back in the day, the shitcoin market was a whole lot better. And after that, I just devoted my time to shitcoins. But back then, just about everything would pump. So just about anything you put your money into, if it didn't rug or it wasn't a honeypot, then it would pump like crazy.
Well, sometimes even if it did rug and it was a honeypot, you just exited the right time. Like sometimes you still did okay.
Yeah, there were a few times that happened to me too, where I did good on a rug, so I ended up getting kind of addicted to shitcoins, and so then I started making shitcoins, and I created Jail Doge, which was a shitcoin, and that did pretty well. Went to about 500,000 market cap, which is pretty decent for a shitcoin. Or it was at that time, which was when the market was starting to go down a bit. But then the problem was that less and less shitcoins were making people money. And so it was harder and harder for people to make money. And I didn't want to ruin my name by, running coins when people weren't making money, and then have too many people not make money. And then all of a sudden people are wondering if I had something to do with it. Because that does happen. In the shitcoin market, and sometimes the developer does have something to do with it, and I believe that sometimes they don't as well. But either way, when almost everybody loses their money, then everyone starts blaming the developer, and I didn't want to run into that problem. I had seen it too many times with too many people. So that's when I realized I had a 4-year run with brain cancer, and I realized I had an artistic ability that I had never had before. And wow. So, that's the other part that I didn't get to in the earlier section. But that's what gave me my artistic ability, was the brain cancer. It's something called neuroplasticity scientifically. And what that means is your brain forms new pathways due to trauma. So it can happen with traumatic brain injuries. It can happen with brain radiation. It can happen with all sorts of any type of trauma to your brain. And in some cases, your brain can form new pathways, and you can form new abilities that you've never had before. With me, it happened to be art that I ended up forming. And so I just kind of stumbled across that because I had no artistic ability before. So I just kind of was playing around on the tablet, and I stumbled across the fact that I could now do art, decently. And so I made my first collection, which was a pixel collection, which is Cartel Punks. And at the time, that was the fastest selling collection on the BNB chain, or on BSC.
Nice.
And then I made Badass Doggos. And Badass Doggos, unfortunately, there was some controversy surrounding that. Somebody, a shady developer who I had hired, claimed that it was their project and released it on Solana, but then they ended up draining everybody's wallet. But by that time, so it was clear that it was actually my project and not theirs. But by the time that happened, there was too much damage done, and so the project kind of had stalled. And then I made Catboy NFT just to kind of shit on the Catboy shitcoin, because their team was not creating NFTs and promising them. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then I did
you front ran their devs. That's
I basically front ran their devs. And that one sold out. That was 10,000. That one sold out. And then I did Gaming Shiba NFTs, and that was only 1,000. And that was because the dev was rugging, and I had proof that the dev was rugging, but the community wasn't listening. And so as kind of a fuck you to dev, I front ran theirs as well. And so
yeah, well, it's so, I mean, I laugh at this stuff, but it's funny to outsiders. They see this stuff and they think like, well, this is why crypto is so dangerous. But bro, it's dangerous freedom, right? Like, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you don't do it, there is a natural law that somebody else can do it faster, right?
Yeah.
Like, you proved that.
Yeah, and I mean, I did it a month after they had promised it, and I was able to still create the whole collection and then release it a month after they had promised to be starting their collection. So there was really no excuses then. I mean, I created the collection in like a week or two, and so wow. I was basically proving, here's how incompetent these people are.
But it sounds like, pardon the interruption, but it sounds like if you got those skill sets, if you know enough about doing the generative combinations of art on the dev side, and if you have a bit of an artistic sensibility, like you discovered that you have, and you also know a bit about marketing, that's a very dangerous. I mean, that's the trifecta, right? Like, you can do NFTs if you have all three of those skills on your own, then you can quickly go to market. And it sounds like you've proven that over and over and over again. It's not a mistake. Right. And it's not a one-hit wonder with you. Like, you've repeated that success. You clearly know those three things well enough that, like, I get where the nickname came from, man. I get where the brand came from. Like, you legit are making things happen in a way that very few others do.
Well, then I can definitely become a demon if I'm screwed over. I'm a very, very nice guy. And people who know me will agree. Very easy to get along with, but if I'm crossed, then I do become somewhat of a demon, which is part of a current lawsuit. But
okay, well, yeah, we'll leave that one alone. But I mean, I get it all. So there's a bit of a natural law there too, and people just need to be respectful of that. That yeah, it's better to get along, I think. And again, it's better to do what you say you're going to do, and it's better to get along, I think, in most cases. But yeah, so I don't know the specifics of that. Mind your biz community. If you discover, we got dirt on this guy, why are you giving why are you giving whatever airtime to people who are scammers? I reserve judgment, right? I don't know any of the facts and circumstances of what's going on there. So good luck with that.
Oh, I was actually scammed. They just fucked around and found out, and then they didn't like the way that I handled it. So they're trying to get me for interfering with their contractual relationships. Nothing to do with scamming. There's no scamming accusations in the lawsuit whatsoever. So nobody's going to uncover any dirt on me even if they go ahead and look into that.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it sounds like these are exciting times, man. These are the war stories that outside, like, people, I'm trying to remember the quote, right? It is, man, I'm going to butcher it, but it's about the spectator versus the gladiator, right? And it sounds like you've got some phenomenal gladiator stories right now already with your time in the crypto and NFT space, that most people, they hear it and they're like, oh man, that's so dangerous, or this is why, crypto is so dangerous. But at the same time, they have admiration for it, because who doesn't want to have those experiences that you had? I mean, even with the window tinting business that you blew up, basically, nobody blows up businesses like that. And almost nobody has these kinds of experiences, like you're saying, with being able to go through a fully sold out 10,000 collection mint, or having all these experiences where you get to repeatedly make an NFT collection totally blow up and walk away from it like, yeah, I'm ready to to invest back in myself. I don't need outside capital. That's a phenomenal, man. People love hearing these stories. They just they hate actually going through what it takes to do it on their own. So like this is great. I'm glad that you're sharing it.
Yeah, and people have really loved me because I really go really hard on the scammers. And so,
Nice.
sometimes that can get me into a little bit of issues, but I go really hard on scammers. And that's built me somewhat of a following, is just how hard I go on the scammers.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, for a short time here on the Mind Your Biz channel, I did with Nerd Girl. We did a Scam Buster Saturdays, and we just found like for my brand and for this platform and stuff, it was not a good thing for us to do. It was just like, okay, why are you talking about it? We don't care. But that's great that you found a platform and that it's something you can do so authentically. Like, really, somebody needs to. It's really hard to figure out like who can do that while also building the correct kind of following. So like kudos for that too. Let me ask you, as far as just like big wins, if you could summarize like the biggest milestones and wins in your crypto journey so far, what would you say is like the short list, top 3 or top 5?
I would say, well, one of the biggest wins would have been the success of Cartel Punks becoming the largest, the first 10,000 collection to mint out in under a month, and we minted out in 2 weeks. I would also say my second biggest success would be, or this may even be the first one, is just the people that I've met along the way. This would probably be the first success. I've been to pretty much all the conferences that you can think of, at least in the US. I haven't been to any of the overseas ones, but I've been to the ones in the US. And I've just met so many wonderful people. And I recommend that people go to the conferences if they can, at least one in their lifetime, because it really is the core. It is the core crowd. And it is a whole bunch of great people that are there. Another success I would say would be acquiring a media website. I acquired patrolcrypto.com, which is a news website for crypto. And so I just recently acquired that, and that was a major success. And also just building a community that loves the work that I do, and continues to support my projects. That would be a major success in my opinion.
Well, it's awesome, man. The one of the internet's first real marketers, Seth Godin, he would always talk about having 1,000 true fans, and it sounds like you've got that. Like, so it sounds like it wouldn't matter if you were doing NFTs or if you were not that you're going to go sell Herbalife today, but like if that's what you were doing, it sounds like you've got enough people who are like, no, we trust Jeremy, and so like we would go wherever he goes. Like even if you pivoted, it sounds like you got that 1,000 true fans. So kudos, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And my current project that I'm working on is called Super Gremlin Society, and it follows my battle with brain cancer. And we're trying to create a community of support for people who are going through cancer and other terminal illness, and build a whole collection around that. And so that's a 10,000 piece collection, and it's based off of, inspired by Kodak Black's song Super Gremlins. So they're mischievous creatures that turn anything that's formed against them into a positive. Kind of like the song is going on, how he turned his negative background into a positive. That's where the collection is coming from, and so yeah, we hope that people can join us for that too.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to see more about it. It sounds like there is a lot of an infusion of meaning into the collections that you do, even just this one that you're working on right now, Super Gremlins. So I'm excited to see what comes out of that. As far as the upcoming big dates, you mentioned that Super Gremlins is one of the big projects you're currently focused on. What are some big dates that the Mind Your Biz community can look forward to? Acknowledging that we're going to publish sometime towards the end of January 2023.
Well, we're hoping to mint. Hopefully, the next big date will be minting, starting the minting, and so we're hoping that'll be in April. We're trying to get 5,000 people on the white list at supergremlinsociety.com. We're at about 3,000 right now. And so, we're more than halfway there. And we're kind of on a trajectory to go to hit that number around April. And so we're not setting a date because I don't want to launch the collection too early and then not have it. Collections don't necessarily have to sell out right away these days like they used to, but they have to get a decent amount sold out the first day. So I don't want to have a collection that dies because not enough are minted. And so what I refuse to do is set a specific date simply because we might not be ready by then. And I'd rather wait until we're ready. And this is why people trust me, is because I make these kinds of decisions. As much as there's plenty of people that want to get their hands on Super Gremlins, I'd rather wait until we're ready than launch too early and then have the collection killed because not enough people have minted it or not enough NFTs got minted.
That makes sense. So it sounds like not so much the big date for the mint, but the big date for the whitelist is well, the number is 5,000 on the whitelist, and you're talking about sometime in April-ish is the goal.
That's the goal. Yep, that's what we're shooting for.
Awesome. Well, we'll have a link to the collection, to the current whitelist in the description of this video. So anybody from the Mining Biz community, I feel like just based on the short time that we've gotten to know each other, I've gotten to hear your story. And because we haven't gotten to know each other that well, real talk, but hearing your story is inspirational. So anybody from the Mining Biz community, I feel like based on this data point, getting to know more about Jeremy, that I feel confident that you should go and check it out. It's a whitelist sign up, for crying out loud. You're not mortgaging your house to get into the next speculative shitcoin or whatever. And it's not right. It's not an endorsement or whatever. Just go be on the allow list, right? What's it going to hurt? Clearly, you got an authentic story, Jeremy. And I think that your following is there for a reason. So, I can do that without reservation. As far as, not just upcoming big dates, but other places where people can find you and the collection. Is there a Telegram or a Discord? Do you run some other kind of private community? What's the best for people to find you at?
Yeah, so there's two places that I'd recommend. One would be NFTDemon.com. And on NFTDemon.com, I have all of my socials, including my Facebook. So you got my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. Those are the only three that I really have. So, but maybe my Telegram's on there too. I'm not sure. My Telegram is NFT Demon, but you have my socials on my website, and you also have an overview of my collections. And then also supergremlinsociety.com. Supergremlinsociety.com is where you can whitelist and also where you can join our Discord. It's got real easy buttons for joining the Discord. So you can hop on the Discord and start chatting. And, I'm the main person who runs the Discord. Right now, it's a little bit, there's not a whole lot of activity going on, but that's because we're kind of far off from expected mint. So there's not really a whole lot of people talking, but anybody wants to pop in, say something, feel free. I'd be glad to respond, be glad to communicate there as well. And so, NFTDemon.com and supergremlinsociety.com would be the best places.
Awesome. Well, community, go check that out. And also for the future viewers of this video, no, Jeremy, did I ask you for payment for us to do this interview, or have you sent anything my way for this interview?
No, have not. And no, you didn't ask.
Okay. Just want to be, you always got to make sure, you got to disclaim the crap out of everything these days. Right. So there you have it. Right. No, this is just creators supporting creators. And thank you for your time. Really. This has been a treat getting to know you a bit. And I think we got to cut it right there. Though I really feel like Mining Biz community, if you want to see a follow-up with the NFT Demon himself, Jeremy Ryan, let me know in the comments, and we'll maybe we can make it happen. But Jeremy, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.